Okay. You guys probably know the channel Modern Survivalist, the guy from Argentina. I think it's where he started. Now he's Spain or something like that. I listen on the weekends to him and Matt Bracken because I find it really interesting. And today, it's usually about a 2 hour, what would you call it? Like a podcast thing or something here on YouTube. And about an hour and a half into it, boom, channel goes black. It says this video is no longer available. And I just now went back. Here it is later tonight, and it's not even in history. It's not even on his page anymore. So I assume that the powers that be just killed it. I had to write this down because I tried to make this video before, and I just get so lost on a tangent. And I think I've kind of spoke about this before, but back in 2008 when Obama got elected, I kind of checked out. No media, no YouTube, didn't have the internet. My laptop died, it didn't have the internet. Sold one car, my old truck I was driving, had no radio, so I didn't even hear the news. If I went to someone else's house or place and they had something on, or you went to some place you're eating, they had the TV on or something, that's about all the media I got. And I was like that for almost 2 years. But I was real disappointed at the same time because Bill Clinton, that's another story. Obama had won, he was elected, and I had a lot of fear going into that one because I'd seen these emails going around how there's going to be all this terrible stuff that's going to happen. Martial law and all this. And I was bummed out because my party at the time, which was the Republican Party, wanted me to vote for John McCain. And that just wasn't going to happen. So I was officially disenfranchised from that point forward. I heard a phrase, yes, I don't know when this video is going to go up. Could be another day or so. But a day or so ago, I watched a video with Peter Hitchens. He's an English guy. He was the brother of the other Hitchens, the atheist that died. I can't think of his first name. Anyhow, Peter Hitchens is the guy. He's a call him a right-wing conservative. He started out as a young man. He was a Marxist and atheist and all this. But yeah, he someone had asked him, as we're moving forward, and it looks like the leftists are leading their campaign, winning, so to speak, as far as in the Western culture. They're not being stopped. How do you go forward? Asked this Peter Hitchens. How do you go forward? What's your attitude? What are you going to do? And he used a phrase that I'd not heard before, and he said, and I think he was speaking about other people. He said, well, what most will do is this, and the phrase is internal exile. And I believe, because I've heard someone else speak about the same thing, I believe they're talking, this is a characteristic of people on the right, not so much as people on the left. I could be wrong about that, but I think this is characteristic of the people on the right. That they turn to, and it's not putting your head in the sand, it's not unless you're walking away in defeat or something like that, but internal exile. We go back into ourselves, focus on ourselves, what's immediately around us, kind of like I said in that previous video. And we kind of circle the wagons and start to focus on the things around us that we can actually affect. And he gave a list of things that people will typically do, but I still go back to being disenfranchised. But when you're disenfranchised, it doesn't mean you quit. You're not stopping. But that really resonated with me because I did that in 2008, 9, 10, like that. Internal exile. Now, there's another guy I really enjoy listening to, and that is Victor David Hansen. He actually lives not too far from here. Victor David Hansen. And he called it, what was his phrase? The monastery of the mind. And he said this months back. And that's why when Peter Hitchens made this other statement, it kind of made sense to me. Monastery of the mind. They will go back home. They'll get to work. They will, you know, work with their family, work on their business, work on what they do, their skills, or whatever the case is. Whereas the left, they'll do something else when they're in the shoes on the other foot. But we go back, and it's monastery of the mind. We check out, and it's not a like I said, it's not a defeat or a surrender or anything like that. It's just we've put our time in, and if what we've done isn't working, we're not going to continue to beat our head against the wall until maybe there's another option of some kind. But in the meantime, we monastery of the mind, internal exile. We kind of check out. And it doesn't mean that we're not aware of what's going on or we're not necessarily participating, but we're just not putting our energy. We're putting our energy in other places. And once again, it's back on us. And I think that's true. Because I've done that before. When this Peter Hitchens, when months back when I heard Hansen speak on it, I thought, that's interesting. But when Peter Hitchens put it this way, internal exile, said, I did that. I did that. Now, that may sound like a negative thing. I don't think it's a negative. Exile sounds like a bad thing, but I've talked about this before. That was a time in my life when, like I said, being disenfranchised, focusing on just what I didn't have any outside material, outside data or media coming at me. So all I had is what was going on in my own mind. The things I had to do, my own list of stuff I had to work on. Money was tight. This is 2010, 8, 9, 10. And so I was probably one of the most productive times in my life. And until just recently, this 2020 was something we were busy as hell. But I actually got a lot done at that time in that internal exile. It was actually turned out to be a very positive thing. That's when I fell into my faith, started searching that and learning those things, other skills I had to pick up because we could no longer afford to have someone else do things, had to do a lot of ourselves, and like that. Anyhow, I just thought I'd share that. Internal exile. I think, depending on what happens here, unless, I haven't given up hope yet, but it really looks like we're probably going to. I don't know how Trump would be able to pull this off at this stage of the game. Who knows? Like I said, I haven't given up hope, but it's if it happens where Biden gets it, or Biden ends up being inaugurated, and then shortly after that, I believe it'll be Kamala Harris. I think she'll end up being president. That's another video. Anyhow, I just want to share that with you. Peter Hitchens, internal exile, and I really think that's it was good for me in the past. Now, will that happen again depending on this situation? I've already had that mindset for a long time. This outside stuff, I just can't give. I voted. That's what I did. I can't give them much more than that because there's not much more I can affect. And at my age and my energy, the amount of energy you have to spare, which is none, I really can't afford to take down any windmills, battle any windmills. Anyway, love you, God bless.